Hi, good evening, Sourav.
Good evening, Ajanta.
Lovely having you today. And I'm sure this discussion between the two of us would really be very interesting, for us and for the esteemed members of LinkedIn and other members, who will be listening to this. Thank you so much for making it, and thanks for the time that you have decided to give for this.
Thank you for having the conversation with me.
You're most welcome. In fact, I just realized, that we have been working on similar platforms. We have been working in similar areas. There would be lots to learn. So that was the reason, we decided. And I think that was the reason we decided to be together and discuss and talk about things, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Great. So we don't have a particular agenda, but we would try and make this conversation really worth listening to. I think first I would like to know a little bit about you. So if you could just introduce yourself.
Sure. Very quickly, I'm an ex-journalist who crossed over to communications. I've spent the last 22 years around newsrooms, boardrooms, and brands trying to figure out how credibility is built and lost. So that's me.
Wow, that's wonderful. And I have been into customer relations. I have been into marketing, sales. I have been into public relations as well. I am a consumer insights professional, and this is incidentally my 25th year of practice, and I'm still in love with it, So I think we do make a very good combination.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Consumer insights is very important.
Wow, that's really nice. And public relations too is. Okay, that was really nice. So to begin with, I just wanted you to tell me, do you think that businesses still are confused with data and insights? Because I'm sure you must be using insights, sort of.
Absolutely. You know what, Ajita, I feel that because data feels objective, scalable, which is why it gives you a sense of control, and which is the reason why businesses and a lot of CMOs prefer data. Insight, on the other hand, is interpretive. It is emotional. It often says things which is uncomfortable. While data says what has happened, insights would tell you why has it happened, and it's emotional and contradictory, probably. Which is why data is more comfortable and which is why it is more acceptable.
Right. I do understand. In fact, I think to add to what you have beautifully comprehended, basically insights also tell you about a lot of things, by observing and seeing the non-verbals. Couple of other things, which really becomes important, like the voice, the modulation, and the way the consumer is talking, the emotions, like you rightly pointed out. I mean, are you with me on this?
Absolutely, 100%.
So sort of I wanted to understand from a PR lens, what signals do businesses most often miss about public sentiments?
I would say you usually miss the silence and the fact that the tone has shifted in the consumer's mind. In journalism, we were taught to see or read what is not being said, behind the words, the behind story. In communications, I have seen that the backlash rarely happens without any signals. It always carries signals, but we tend to miss those signals. There might have been cues. There might have been a community unease, probably. There might have been a disgruntled employee. There might have been cultural misalignments. So often businesses tend to miss these kind of signals and cues, which leads to, problems.
Right. I do understand. I totally agree with what you have said. In fact, things have been changing quite a bit. And these days, we are hearing a lot about AI. So I wanted you to tell me, with AI and analytics becoming dominant today, what are your thoughts on qualitative insights? I mean, is it still outperforming technology? Yeah.
And this is something that I would like you to also delve in.
Sure.
What I've understood is technology is excellent at recognizing patterns, but human beings, we as humans don't live in patterns. Qualitative insight captures context, emotion, and contradiction, whereas a technology will probably not show you the complexity that, a human mind is carrying. Do you agree with me?
Absolutely. In fact, I would like to add to this. AI reads what is being told by the consumers. And qualitative actually looks into what is being done. So qualitative research reads, what is felt, the emotions, the layers which are not actually seen or spoken, always by the consumers. So it's a different kind of a thing altogether. And what I personally feel, having been in the industry for quite some time now, qualitative actually, decode these symbols. It is the human element which is absolutely important. Like we spoke about the verbal cues, the non-verbal cues, the body language, tone, and all that. So I think though we have been hearing a lot about AI, and AI tools are being used, even in qualitative research in getting insights, which saves a lot of time. Like going down memory lane, we used to really, literally have transcriptions done. We used to really have the analysis done in detail, and then, come out with a report, which used to take a really long time in making the PPT and then presenting it. But then things are different today. But I think AI is definitely supporting all this, but the human element cannot be missed.
Absolutely, I agree. AI at best can be a supporting role. We can't let AI be the master of everything. There has to be the human element.
Right. Sourav, tell me something. What are the most dangerous assumptions that businesses make about human behavior? I wanted to know this from you because you have been dealing with a lot of clients, especially in the current role that you are playing.
Very interestingly, brands tend to think that their customers, people here, are rational. They are consistent in their thought process and are honest with their motivations. Whereas actually we are not. We change, we tend to, react to every small possible signal that we get. Most decisions that we as human beings are making are emotional first and rational later. When businesses assume that logic drives behavior, that is where the problem occurs. They design solutions that look good on paper, but fail in reality because the connect between the human being and the brand is probably missing.
Absolutely.
Which is why I think
in fact,
brands have to factor in the aspect that human as a nature will change over time.
Right. To add to this, I think, the changes are very frequent these days and they are huge. I mean, that is what I am experiencing by interacting with the consumers, in person. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. We talk about patience, the attention span. It's decreasing by the day.
Right. Absolutely. And when you're talking of this, I think I am reminded of the social media, because social media has also brought in, the attention span and so many options. Yeah. So this is pretty much obvious and relatable today. Great. So your role is basically to transform brand strategy into measurable business impact, right? Into tangible results, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So what role does qualitative market research play in that? I mean, do you use it for your clients? How do you choose, to get a particular partner, etc.? If you can just tell us a bit about that.
Consumer insight is the basis of whatever communication strategy we can make. Without insights, without understanding our consumer, communication is only a noise.
I'm glad that you are saying this. What are the things you keep in mind, while deciding on a particular research partner, maybe? Some pointers from you.
See, there are a lot of agencies, a lot of people do research nowadays, but it's very important to understand what are you looking for in that research. You may be trying to find an answer to X, but the research might give you Y, and there's a disconnect. So it is very important that the researcher, the person who's going to research, or the agency, has an alignment with the brand.
I understand. In fact, you are reminding me of communication and two-way communication, because I do find lack of two-way communication in many of the cases, when we are actually doing a study. So what happens is you don't have things clear at times. So it has to be a soulful partnering and a continuous partnering, because it's not like, you have the pointers and you just get a question answer kind of a session. Because while you're interacting, and if it's a free-flowing interaction, I mean, you just tend to get gold mines that you were not aware of, Sourav. Another very interesting thing, I've been hearing about social license changing in a world driven by platforms and algorithms, So what are your thoughts on that? I mean, I just wanted you to throw some light, because honestly, I'm not too aware on this.
Yeah, social license is very important nowadays, and I really, really hope that brands understand the importance of social license. Social license is basically a permission that the society and the public at large gives the brand or the company at large to function, to operate. However, social license today, at this point in time, is very fragile and distributed. It's precisely because of the attention span. Earlier, it was easy. You could earn your permission or social license from from communities or public at large. Today, with the social media, you tend to lose or earn your social license every day, every moment. Algorithms tend to amplify sentiment, not intention. So brands are judged not by what they're doing, but how people are perceiving them. The perception has become very important today.
Right, that was really insightful. In fact, I've been also hearing people say, brands now need permission and not just attention.
Yeah. It's very interesting that you say that, because attention can be bought, through advertising, through a lot of things. Attention can be bought, but permission from communities or public cannot be bought. It can only be earned, which is where the difference is. People may notice you, but that doesn't mean that they are accepting you. Social license is that legitimacy, that you are responsible, you're relevant, and you're being respected by the society. That's why the social permission is very important. If not social license, social permission. You can also understand it that way.
Yeah, got it. Real gold mine, huh? Thanks a bunch, Sourav. That was really a gold mine, I would say. From the qualitative work that you have commissioned, is there a gap in the way a particular brand wants to be seen vis-a-vis the way public perceives that particular brand?
I think, Rajita, you will be better placed to answer this than me.
Okay.
But quickly, I will say that, when people reinterpret your message emotionally, they might say that, they don't get us. It feels forced. Intent, I have seen that lives in the boardroom. Interpretation is what lives in experience. That's how I look at it. What do you say?
Okay, great. I'll give you an example, a very interesting example. Yesterday, I had been to Wise Owl. Okay, it's a very nice, warm, cozy kind of a coffee joint in Kolkata. I live in Kolkata currently. Now, I've been going to Wise Owl since a very long time. And this is a nice place, to chat, even for client meetings and all that. Now, I used to always go to Crystal Chopsticks as well, since very long. This is another Chinese joint out here in Calcutta. It's in the same area, in South Kolkata. Now, both of these have been my favorite brands, very cozy and very warm and good to go kind of places. Now, yesterday when I went to Wise Owl, suddenly I realized, there were some cards on the table and it mentioned, that Wise Owl is a part of Crystal Chopsticks. Crystal Chopsticks is a part of Wise Owl. I just realized it,
Aware of it.
I wasn't aware of it and I was surprised, and I was wondering, why is it that they haven't been speaking about it? Why is it that they don't talk about it? And there were tiny cards on the table. What I felt was, it's very important you hear your consumer, and if you really have a very strong USP like this, you can actually have this cross marketing done, which would really, make consumers happy, more confident. And this is something that needs to be taken into account very seriously.
I agree. Ajita, before we move on to the next question, there's something that I wanted to ask you.
Sure.
We've been talking about consumer insights and consumer surveys. Tell me something. In this age of AI, what are the few aspects of qualitative research, market research, which you think will never go out of sync or out of relevance?
Okay. See, we have been hearing a lot of AI. In fact, I've executed a lot of projects on AI platforms as well and used a lot of AI tools as well. Okay. AI is something which helps qualitative research, as we discussed, and it helps us to do it faster, to do things mechanically, which could have been done manually, and that would have taken a longer period of time in getting it done. This is one part of the story. But I personally feel that it is the human element again, which is the most important thing, which would stay, and it depends on the ability of the qualitative researcher to actually get things out of the AI tools correctly. So Tech data
Right.
basically will be data, and qualitative would capture the emotions and the innermost layers, if executed, uh, moderated, and listened well. What do you think?
Absolutely. I agree 100%. Absolutely with you on that. There's a difference between technology and human behavior.
Yeah.
Technology can't mimic human behavior. It can only replicate what it is seeing, but it can't mimic or replicate human behavior or human emotion.
Absolutely. See, there's another thing we find, Saurav, you would have seen it. There's a lot of copycatting these days. Okay.
Yeah.
We see a lot of brands talking about things and also, talking in similar lines. So I would like your thoughts on why do some brands feel authentic and the others don't, even when they are saying the same thing. What are your thoughts on that?
That happens because authenticity is not just about language. It's about coherence. When behavior, values, and communications, all these three things align, the consumer, people sense it. And when they don't, when they can sense there's a misalignment, people start feeling manipulated. Human beings, we humans are very good at detecting dissonance, and that is where the connect between the brand and the consumer breaks. It's all about being authentic. Like I said earlier, that attention can be bought.
Got it. In the same context, we hear a lot about organic and inorganic. Like, the genuinity of those responses which we get on our posts or maybe, on the social media platforms. Am I on the right track? Am I understanding you right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You see one influencer, one curator, one influencer talking about 10 different brands. Then you start questioning how authentic is what the influencer is. And then you start disengaging with the brand.
Absolutely.
So you have to be very thoughtful and very clear and, I would say authentic about your communication.
I think it's brands having consistency as well, isn't it? That really project authenticity.
The biggest case in point is Amul. Look at the way they have been consistent about their advertisements or about their messaging for years now, for decades.
Yeah. Absolutely, utterly, butterly delicious. I mean, I don't think we can ever forget that. In fact, good you mentioned about Amul. Recently, I was doing a study. Now, this was, on those packaged sweets available on the various platforms. You have various e-commerce platforms and all that. And I was pretty much surprised that you have Amul Mithai as well. I mean, the way they are diversifying and the originality of the product and the authenticity of the product is something, I think all of us are really proud about, isn't it?
Absolutely. They call themselves Taste of India for nothing.
Absolutely. How does early insight actually help? Because you must be having a lot of clients, like you already mentioned, wherein consumer insights are actually important. But I have been hearing people talk about consumer insights, getting them, through qualitative research or quantitative research. Sometimes it's expensive. So in this context, how does early insight actually help? What are your thoughts on that?
If you have early information or early insight, help me deal with the right problem, right issue in hand, rather than beating around the bush or probably chasing the wrong story. I think it's cheaper to listen rather than to correct later. What would you say?
Absolutely. In fact, what happens is, see, in our consumer insights projects that we generally do, there are different objectives, right? I mean, you could actually have a study done, before launching a product. It could be, for the packaging of a particular product. I mean, there are different objectives and there are different ways of doing it as well. So, I mean, I can just cite the example of a ready-to-eat momo I had worked for. And today, it's wonderful seeing the brand doing so well. It was just a homegrown kind of a momo that they really wanted to come out with, and it has ultimately been sold to one of the top giants out here in India.
Wow.
Early insight really works, and I've seen that, not just for one category or one brand, it has been for various categories. You must be knowing, sort of, that there are different ways in which, we get these insights. Like, we have one-to-one discussions, we have group discussions, we have mystery shopping, wherein you won't even know, that I'm actually trying to understand things, just probably, cloaking myself and just going over there and observing you. Then we have these ethnographies, being with consumers for long hours. So it does help. It does help. And ultimately, we are in a position to get the insights for our clients.
100%, because the same people you are speaking to probably in your research are the same people we are trying to target as a brand. So why not hear them, speak to them before you actually start getting into the strategy?
Right. Tell me something, Saurabh. Getting to know you and getting to know your background and the areas in which you have worked, it's really been wonderful. I wanted you to tell me, how involved are you when your clients actually need consumer insights? And why I'm asking you this is, see, there are two types of clients I have been interacting with. The end clients are totally involved in many of the studies. We slowly and gradually, partner and come out with a very clear-cut direction. And there are some clients wherein, they aren't really present and the studies are executed, but then there's a difference in the two. So I wanted to know what exactly you do and what do you feel would be an ideal thing, for you and your clients, Saurav.
So there's no one process that is followed. I mean, most brands I've worked with, they see consumer insights or consumer research. They have their own interpretations. Everyone has their own interpretation.
Absolutely.
There would be, I have seen brands who have tried to manipulate surveys or researches to suit their product or to suit their narrative. But I have also, on the other hand, seen brands who have done a very authentic research and have responded to what customers have to say. So I've seen both sides of the table.
True. I like you mentioning this word authentic over and over again. Makes me feel so happy, actually, because these values at times you feel are gone. So I mean, you being a youngster, hearing this from you really makes me feel extremely happy, being very honest with you. Tell me something. What is one thing that businesses should actually unlearn?
I think they should stop thinking that people are predictable. There's nothing called predictability in a human being or in the society. Humans are contextual, humans are emotional. I'm again saying that humans are emotional. The moment a business starts thinking that they have been able to figure out the customer, that's where it stops listening and that's where the problem starts happening. I would say in one line, brands should stop thinking that they have been able to figure out or, our customer is predictable.
I would like to add to this, like consumers are flexible, consumers are emotional, consumers are much more educated. They really know a lot. They do a lot of research themselves. So I think these things are important, for any business. One more thing I wanted to understand, what is that one particular thing, if I had to ask you, that businesses misunderstand about public perception?
Awesome. Thank you so much for asking this question. This has been my pet peeve with brands. I hate it when brands think that perception can be managed. And you won't believe how many brands come to us and tell us that, manage this. Perception cannot be managed. It can't be. Communications, we as practitioners of communication can only influence through consistent, credible behavior. Public trust, brands need to understand, public trust is earned. It cannot be controlled. And I really hope that more and more brands are able to understand that. And if I'm able to, educate as many brands I can, I'll be very happy.
Saurav, that was excellent. I'll tell you what, there are times when we are in a very complex kind of a situation. I'll tell you, what happens is you are interacting with somebody, okay? And you know that it is not the right person that you're interacting with, the right target audience. And I hear people telling me, Arey Ajanta, manage kar lo yaar. Khatam karo, manage karo. I'm being very honest with you. Hearing this from you has again made me feel and revived my trust, that there are people who are really serious about what they do and they understand. And this word within quotes, managing, is something, that we should really not do it the way they expect us to do. So it is, trust needs to be earned. I reiterate what you have said. I think, there's a lot of crisis management, and you need not really be very complacent about the fact that, today you're doing well. That doesn't mean that your monopoly would stay. So there are a lot of things
Correct.
wherein you
Correct.
have to manage situations the way you feel you should do it rightly. Yeah, you are saying something, Sourav.
Ajita, I was saying, we have seen in recent times, biggest of brands, be it an airline, the largest airline company, the biggest FMCG brand, they have all got into trouble.
Right.
Because they probably did not communicate the right thing, or probably they were not transparent enough or authentic enough. There are hundreds of such examples.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it was wonderful having you here. And before I close, I'm reminded of my recent experience, of Indigo, because I was traveling to Mumbai and the entire schedule got jeopardized. And there was another positive angle to this, I had to come by Akasa, and I realized, that Akasa is also good. And I'm sure, Indigo would also do well in future because they're coming out with a lot of practices, So I think this is a continuous process. And I think each brand has to really, come out with solutions to retain their customers and customer loyalty.
Absolutely. It's a journey.
Right, absolutely. Thank you so much, Sourav. I think this was brilliant and looking forward to interacting all over again.
Thank you, Ajit. It was lovely talking to you.
Thank you. Same here. Wishing you all the very best.
You too. Thank you so much.